Alright. Let's see. Okay. Let's do some stuff. Okay, let's pull up our notepad from yesterday. Let's keep track of everything while we are working today. Hello, Stefan. What was I working on? Oh yeah, this is going to be the core, which means it's going to be the changed. Oh crap. Okay, so. Hello, James. So today we're actually going to undo everything we did yesterday because I cloned in the project and did create a new one. So I don't want to push all of my new changes for the second series over on top of the first series, because then that will screw over everybody. So now that I know exactly what I'm going to be doing today properly, let's clone in the FPS again off GitHub. This PC, C, projects, 4. And then we are going to MPS 2. That's what we're going to call this one. Clone this in. Okay, and then we are going to I'm going to finish off the day pushing these to a new repo is what we're going to do. Okay. So, welcome everybody who's hanging out. I have decided what I'm going to do is something I think will actually work out in the long run rather nicely. Once I can get to the bottom of my list here. There we go. So the goal was I want to extend the extras section on the FPS and add in a bunch of new stuff. And I got to thinking about it. The extras as they're currently designed, and if we pull up the extras, are things like adding crouch, adding sprint, and there should be another one in here for, apparently I didn't name it. I just called it MVP. Okay, adding stamina to our sprint. So it should have been named extra as well. But basically taking an existing system, our existing base example, and adding something new to it. But each of those extra systems were technically independent of each other. You could add stamina without adding crouch. You could add sprint without adding scrap. Okay, take 3. You could add sprint without adding crouch, or you could add crouch without adding sprint. Unlike the base series, which was basically a step-by-step doing something from start to scratch, the extras were literally extra. I realized when I was going through this stuff, walking to and from work, creating a weapon class, let's say you wanted to add in weapon selection. It's going to require us to create the weapon class in order to make it work properly. Same thing with adding visual models, same thing with basically everything inside of here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to treat this like basically our FPS is our minimum viable project. It is. It's the MVP. It's a minimum viable project. It's, hey, I want to make an FPS. Here's an example of an FPS. Boom, you have your basics. Now someone was like, that was pretty cool. Maybe you should turn that into a full game. What else would you do? Or what else can you do? Or let me see something else before I invest money in this. Something like that. So we're going to pull it from a minimum viable project into a prototype now. And we're actually going to flesh it out. We're going to take an existing MVP, minimum viable project, and flesh it out and turn it into an actual prototype. Because technically, adding weapons, adding classes, firing modes, and actual game modes is going to turn this into less of a minimum viable product and more into an actual prototype. So I'm going to end up making basically a part 2 to this series. It's going to be a prototype series instead of an MVP series. And this way I now don't have to worry about making all of these videos self-contained. Because, for example, setting up the shooting gallery and the assault mode, we're going to be pretty complex. Now I can actually make this into a whole another series, basically MVP FPS 2, the prototype phase. So we're going to start from scratch. I'm going to do all the changes, record all the changes like I normally do for each of these video sections. And then once we get the actual prototype working, then I'll break this down into step-by-step instructions for the recording for everyone else. So the fun part about this is I actually basically get to make kind of like a full mini game here. I get to make a full prototype from our existing stuff and then record it. Hopefully anyone who hangs out can feel free to add input or ideas or suggestions, and we'll learn from it all. And it'll be a lot more fun than, like I spent this morning, recording 5 videos on curves. Which, you know, it needs to be done, but isn't exactly as much fun as adding in weapons. So that's what we're going to do. And that allows me the freedom to make this into a full, longer series and break stuff apart in order. That makes me happy. So let's go ahead and get this started. We have MVP FPS 2. Okay. So update to 4.14 is the first step. So we'll do that, and then we'll open up our project. And then I have written down, we moved the stamina nodes for code cleanup, we fixed the stamina delay, and then we updated old and deprecated nodes as needed. So I'm going to quickly knock that out, and then we're going to move on to creating a weapon class. So I've got about an hour and a half today. So I think I can do it. And if I do the weapon class right, it should be quite amusing. I was thinking about that earlier. I'm actually going to try to handle everything inside the weapon to make weapons self-contained. Firing modes are in the weapon, the firing mechanism inside the weapon, things like that. It should be quite interesting. I've never actually done something a little more full-fleshed like that. So, okay, so we have our project. We've updated. We know it works. One of our main issues is our text block in the bottom right is wrong. So we're going to fix that first thing. We're basically going to spend our first video. So this is going to be video 1. And it'll be code cleanup and migration to 4.14. So we updated to 4.14. We need to find our character. And it was not our character, so it's our controller. And let's see, so I'll move the stamina nodes from the input graph. So this is controller. We accidentally had these nodes inside of our input events rather than inside of our event graph. So these should actually be in here. Let's organize these a little bit better. There we go, okay. So that was fine. Then fix the stamina display. So add it to the begin play in the character. So we go into our character and we fix it on the begin play, which is up here somewhere, right? There we go. So the easiest thing to do is to copy our existing code, which is right here. Let's actually go ahead and turn this, let's turn this into a, let's see, do we have any input? No, all this is going to do is set it. So we're going to turn this into a macro. So we're going to, and macro the update code. Okay. So we're going to take this code here, and we're going to macro this. Because we basically already do this multiple times. And this is going to be the update stamina display. There we go. So now we can take this code, get rid of it, do that, and we've got the same code here and here. So we can do this and this. And you know what? Yeah, so we'll update the stamina display, then we'll come back in and we'll fix the deprecated code. So it goes here. We'll hit play, and we should have, yep, we have the correct amount of stamina. And it should go down as needed and go up. Okay, so we fixed that. And then the next one, all deprecated codes. We'll do this in the character since we're already here. So we know that we need to take... Now I wonder if there is a replace option. Like, if we could replace... Oh, stop it, cats. Damn it. Okay, sorry about that. So let's see. Wonder if there's like a find and replace. That would be really handy. I don't think there is. Looks like we have 6 of them. Let's see. Yeah, we have our search and we have our find. Well, that's kind of... That's ugly. Okay. Let's see. I don't think there is. That would have been kind of nice. Okay, so, anyways. We know what we're fixing. So we're changing this one to clear, timer, and invalidate. Wonder if this would be one of those times where it'd be smart to macro this. It seems kind of silly for 2 things, actually. Nah, it's probably not worth it. We'll just copy this node. Delete, paste, hook up, connect, and move on. Delete, paste, hook up. It's kind of a bummer because you can replace... That is a bummer. You could replace stuff inside of the viewport. Like replacing meshes with other mesh. That'd be a nice feature to have. Okay. At least these are easy to find, being bright yellow and all. Okay, compile. There we go. So those are fixed inside of the character. And you know what? While we're here, let's see if there's any more left inside of our project. Nope, these are the only ones where we had the timers. So that's good. So that actually ends up fixing that. So now we should be able to test our project. Nothing should be different. Everything should function the same. We should see no difference. We should be able to still crouch, uncrouch, sprint, unsprint. We never set up a jump, so that might be interesting to have to add in at some point. Okay, so that basically takes care of updating our project and migrating to 4.14. So that'll be our intro video. And that's going to cover basically an overview of what we intend on going for, an overview of the play, and then fixing up things. So, yep. So we'll move over to video 2 now. That was really quick. So video 2 is going to be creating a weapon class. So we're going to create a base weapon class, and then we're going to child out every base weapon class. We'll move our firing code into the base weapon and have it choose the correct code path based on the type of weapon. We'll move as many of our options into variables, and we'll move things. We'll have the weapon control adding itself to the hotbar. We'll have the weapon control its firing rates and its sound effects. We'll have the weapons control basically everything relating to the weapon. So that way we can break apart things as much as possible, and you could literally just create a new weapon, drop it into your level, and then everything will handle itself appropriately. That's going to be the goal, which I think is pretty cool. Okay, so let's do that. So we're gonna, this will be creating our weapon class for video 2. So let's jump into that. So what do we want to do? We'll put under blueprints. Yeah, we'll do blueprints, and then we'll do weapon. And then we're going to create a base blueprint class. It's going to be an actor, as will be blueprint weapon. maybe to be smart, we'll call this one projectile. Maybe we want to give the player a gun, and we'll make a weapon projectile and a weapon melee. Just because later on I'd hate to have to rename our BP weapon to BP weapon projectile. You know, maybe at the worst we never use it, but it can't hurt. So we're going to change this to creating our projectile weapon class. And I mean, technically, even something like a flamethrower would count as a projectile. Okay. So our projectile weapon, it's going to have a static mesh that should basically be our representation of our object in the world. So we're going to have that. And then we're just going to have a butt ton of weapons and functions. And then we'll just extrapolate from there. So what should we do? So we'll have our weapon class. And we're going to create... Oops. Wow, that was kind of cool. Whoa. Okay, so I somehow managed to do this by hitting some random set of keys on my keyboard on accident inside of Notepad. I flipped it over to be, instead of left to right, it's right to left, but how the hell did I do that? Okay, bear with me for a second because I have literally no idea what I just did or how to even fix it. How to untoggle right to left. Accidentally hit a couple keys. Okay, so apparently it's a very common accident. Oh, here we go. Right to left reading order. Okay. Well, that was kind of silly and weird. Okay, so let's put this back over here. That was funny. And we are going to go ahead and we will create a weapon class. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to create our base class. We're going to move. Let's start by simply moving our weapon firing code into here. And then we will give this weapon to our player and then start adding functions from there. I think that's a good way to start. So move our line trace firing code into the parent class. Okay. So that is going to be right here. So it's this code, this code, this code, this code. Yep. Okay. Cool. This will work very well. Okay. So we need to take all this code out of here and put it into our projectile weapon, and we're going to call this. Let's see. We'll need a blueprint interface to handle this for our weapon. So let's make a new blueprint interface. Also. Weapon projectile. Okay. We'll make a new one. This will be handle action button 1. So we can basically pass everything along that's called the same. Handle action button 1. So that'll work. We'll give ahead and give ourselves the interface of handle function. Handle. Oh my gosh. Okay. So that's fine. We're going to go ahead and compile handle button action 1 event. So now, in theory, we can just pass right from our player into our weapon, and then our weapon should handle everything. Now, the nice thing about this is we can just, let's see. So how are we doing this one? This is going to be what we hit. Is going to be the handle was hit, correct? Who we hit. So who was the hitter? So the question here is the hitter. Should the hitter be the weapon or the hitter should be the player? My guess is the player. So we're going to somehow have to have this weapon associate itself with the pawn who fired it. We can't assume that this weapon is being fired by the player due to the fact that we might want to make this expandable and give this to like the AI or something like this. So this is going to have to be replaced with an actor that gets passed along, and this is going to be a damage value, so we'll go ahead and create that while we're here. We'll give it a default of 1. So our code for the most part should work fine. We just need to give our player this weapon, and when we give the player the weapon's going to figure out who its owner is. So the question here then becomes, what's the most efficient way of doing this? Because I want to make the base weapon class without attaching itself to the player yet. So let's do a begin play event. And we somehow need a new variable in here. And this is going to be, let's see, let's just go with owner, which I can't set as a variable apparently. Owner, let's see, what is owner? Let's spell owner right. Get owner and set owner. Oh, well that friggin' doesn't help, does it? Hello, Schlump. Let's see, so what's the easiest way of handling this? I hate thinking about stuff like this, because we are going to need to get reference to the owner's camera, I'm noticing down here. So basically, what do we want to call it? Holder? Handler? How about this? Who owns us? Let's just go with who owns us. We'll make it an actor. And that's who we're going to pass along in here. So whoever owns us is the person who is going to be causing the damage. Now we don't have a camera here. So technically we need who owns us, and then we need to get their camera. So the question on this one is, what if they don't have a camera? I guess technically every AI would have a camera, right? And what if we have first person and third person? We would want our line trace to go forward from the player rather than... hello, Schlump. I am working with 4.14. This project is actually being done in 4.14. In case anyone is noticing my confusion, I'm basically trying to keep this as open as possible. Right now, our player is pretty simple. When we have our camera, our first-person camera, and we do our line trace from there forward. However, since we're moving the code into the weapon needs to know basically our firing point. So we need to pass that information on into the weapon. So I'm thinking we'll have some sort of a function that basically is like a register weapon. So the weapon registers itself with the player and it gets the appropriate information. So we'll have the player pick up the weapon. Yeah, okay. So let's see. Do we want the weapon to register with the player or the player to register the weapon? If the player has the same weapon and tries to pick it up again, I guess we'll have the player get the weapon and then ask the weapon for the appropriate stuff. And then once it's registered, it will give it the appropriate information. So we're going to go with a twofold approach here. Inside of our character, we are going to have a, where's our character blueprint interface? We're going to make a new one, and this will be pick up weapon. Inside of our character. And whenever we pick up a weapon, we're going to do certain things. We're going to check to see if we need to pick up the same weapon, see if we've already got it. If it's a new weapon to us, we're going to add it to the character. And then we're going to tell the weapon all the appropriate stats. Okay, so we'll do that. Okay, then we're going to... So right now we're working on fixing bugs from moving over. Okay. So... who owns us? So here we go. And we'll have a... We don't need a begin play event. We're going to have a new event inside the weapon. Okay. I'm thinking in a circle right now in case anyone's wondering exactly what craziness is going on. It's kind of causing an issue here. Let me jump kind of ahead here. Where's my weapon? Let's give it a we'll give it a box collider. And I need a mesh, so we need to design a weapon. So let's design a weapon. Let's make a new level. Let's go to the left perspective. Let's open up our pen tool. And let's see, where this is going to be approximately 10 for the width. And we'll design a really crappy weapon right here. Like that. Okay, there's our weapon. I don't know if it's the right scale, but that is going to be the player's weapon. Okay. So we need to create a weapon mesh. Let's find our box brush. Let's create a static mesh from this. And let's see, content. New folder, we'll call this one meshes. Make a new folder, weapons, and then we're going to call this one static mesh pistol. Let's go and get rid of that. Let's go back into our weapon. Let's assign ourselves our pistol mesh. Like that. We need to rotate it so that way it's along the correct axis. And let's go back to our test map. Let's drop our pistol into our test map. Seriously, you are not a bad blueprint. You're just gonna be a giant. Oh, they are your bad blueprint because technically I have code not finished, don't I? Oh crap. Let's just go with yeah. Let's just. This is broken code right now. No, why is self not working actually? Screw it. This should fix this temporarily just so we can compile. There we go. So there's our weapon. And let's go ahead and where is, and technically we need to be making a pistol right now, but I'll move this over to the pistol in a second. Actually, you know what? We shouldn't be doing that. We should be doing this the proper way. So let's make ourselves a child. We'll call this one BP weapon projectile pistol. Because you want to try to do stuff as smartly as possible. So here's our pistol right here. Which let's move our player like this. There we go. Let's rotate our player's start position. Like that. There we go. We got a pistol. Okay. So there's our pistol. And the reason I wanted to do that was because I wanted to make sure any changes I did to my box mesh were for the pistol itself and not for the parent. That way when we pick up the pistol, there we go. So we'll do something like 60. Now we have a pickup box. Okay. So we'll go back to our parent weapon. And we need a collision event for the box now, so we can actually pick this up. So on component begin overlap. Now here's the question. No, we just needed that. We're gonna have the character do the overlap. That's what we're gonna do. So we need a character overlap event. Overlap. There we go. And let's see if it is a weapon. Let's make an interface for our weapon, which we already do. Okay, so we're good there. Let's go back to our character. And if the thing we hit implements interface, if the thing we hit is a weapon, a project, we'd have to have like a parent. We're going to go ahead and do this. We are going to make a new interface. We're going to call this one BTI weapon. Yep, there we go. And the weapon itself, interface, will have nothing in it right now, so we're good there. I know this all seems weird, but if we abstract things a little bit, then it allows us to easily expand without having to go back and screw up too much stuff. So we know that all projectiles will be the projectile interface and the weapon interface. So we'll make the thing specific to the weapon in the weapon interface and make the thing specific to the projectile in the projectile interface. So if we know we've picked up a weapon, we are going to then handle picking up the weapon. So let's just add a custom event. We'll call this one handle picking up weapon. And picking up weapon like that. Okay. Make it really simple. And then handle picking up weapon is where we'll put the code to handle picking up our weapon. Now, Schlumpf, I'm saving an actor for my line trace result in a variable. I took the actor variable to save the actor. Unfortunately, I'm not able to use it with the getAllActor class node. Do you know why? So we have a line trace. For example, here's my line trace result right here. And here's my hit result. And here's my actor right here. You are saving this. And then what do you... Then you're trying to use the getAllActors of class node. Oh, yeah, well, this is not a class is why. Are you trying to say you're trying to do getAllActor of class and you're trying to feed the result into here like this? Because this is an object. This is an actor object. This is a class. It's not an object. It's different. This is the thingy. These are the instructions to make something. This is the something you made with the instructions. So if you're trying to do that, then you'd have to convert and get the class and then go from there. If we're trying to, if I understand you right in terms of that. Or if you tell me what you were trying to aim for, I can tell you maybe where we're getting lost. But you definitely can't use getAllActors of class with something you hit. So I'll wait for that, Schlumpf, and I'll go back to this. So handle picking up the weapon. For now, we are going to simply take the weapon that we're picking up, and we're going to yeah, because classes and actors are two different things, technically. Handle picking up weapon. So to handle picking up the weapon, we're basically going to take the weapon we picked up, add a reference to that weapon to ourselves. So we're going to need a new variable called weapons. And this will be a, let's see, what was it? Weapon. So this is where we technically run into a problem, because I never made it a master class called weapon. Oh, poop. So now we learn to reparent. And we learn to not close down the project. So let's make a new blueprint actor called blueprint weapon. And then we are going to, let's see. Oh, or can we just, oh, hold on. Let's just make this blueprint weapon. There we go. Let's try this. This will make this blueprint weapon. And then we are going to make a child called projectile. I do not. Damn it. Quit tell me I do. I do not. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to do that. And then... Man, see, I love refactoring stuff, but I keep breaking stuff. So let's grab all this code. We're going to pull it out of the weapon and put it into the projectile. Because technically this is specific to the projectile weapon. Like that. And the projectile weapon should have the projectile interface like that. And we're going to handle... And then technically, we need to go to our BPI for projectile, and we need to get rid of this. Like that. And we need to go into our BPI weapon. We'll do this. The nice thing is all this stupid stuff that I'm doing will not be in the actual final video. Because it's all just learning to do stuff properly. Yes. Yeah, I'm well aware of that. Thank you very much. There we go. Like that. Okay. So that should, in technicality, be fixed. And this one should be fixed. I think I've broken something at some point. I'm going to have to figure that out in a second. But I think I fixed the reparenting here. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Schlumpf. Just checked, already saving that like I'm supposed to do. Get class, then save to variable. Okay, so let's see what you pasted, shall we? If, of course, I can't effing select it because of the stupid... Oh, there we go. There we go. Copy. Okay, let's see what you posted. Oops, that was an HTTP words. Okay. So get all actors of class, hit actor, actor. What's the error you're getting? Is what I need to know. And then technically this doesn't show me what you're actually saving out from your line actor. From your line trace, sorry. But, let's see, if we do get all actor class, we don't know what your hit actor is, so I hit here technically, but I mean if we just, for example, we would just get the class, come up to variable like that, technically that should work. Yeah, so that should work for me. Okay, let's see what we have here, shall we? Connect connector pins out actors and target array. Okay, so that error is actually not on the get node, it's on your secondary node. What you've done more than likely is you did something like this. You did a get. You did a get. There we go. when it did the getter, it assigned the type right here to the type right here, like this. Then when you changed it, it now has a different type going out. So you probably just need to delete your getter node, make sure this is set up properly, like this, and then get again. That way it assigns this getter the correct input type. That'll happen if, like, let's see, what would be the easiest way of doing this? Because this is an actor, unfortunately. Let's say this was of type, oh, do I have anything? A scene capture class. Let's try that. Like that. There we go. And then we do a get. Yeah. So if you notice here, my type is scene capture. My output is scene capture. It's an array of scene captures, and I'm getting an array of scene captures. But if I was to change this to a different type, like actually actor won't work because it already is an actor. But hopefully, yeah, if you just replace your getter node, that should be the problem. No, you'll have to recreate the next node as well. The problem is you created a chain of things based on the input being a certain type. You basically said, hey, I want to go ahead and get all of my square blocks. Then I want to set the rotation on the square block and the direction on the square block. And then once you were all done with all of your construction for the square blocks, someone came in and said, no, it's not a square block anymore. It's a triangle. All your other codes, like, I was expecting a square block. What do you mean it's a triangle? I have no idea what a triangle is. I have no idea how to work with a triangle. So now you have to recreate all the code after that, telling it to work with a triangle, not a square block anymore. That will happen. That's why it's always important to set up the beginning as best as possible. But yeah, that at least should fix your problem there. I hope. We'll see. It should. That should fix your problem. Your problem is your getter is not appropriate for the type of out actor, and then that means the output result from your getter is not going to be this right for your setters. And I have completely forgot what I was going to do. Oh, yeah, we were in the middle of making this weapons. That's why we couldn't do anything. There we go. So we'll simply take our weapons here, and we're going to get, and we will add our weapon to our array. Let's start with that and see what happens. Once we add it to our array, it's going to give us the index. Oh, don't worry about it, Slump. Hopefully that helped. Okay, so once we add the item to our array, let's assume we can have, for now, we're not going to do a validation check. We're not going to validate that we can only have one of this item at a time. Oh, screw it. I think we should probably do things proper. Yeah, see, we can't do that. So, no, we don't. See, oh, yeah, it would help if I passed along what we actually picked up, wouldn't it? So I need to handle picking up the weapon. Yeah, that would help, wouldn't it? Okay, so this is going to be what we are picking up, which is going to be of type weapon. There we go. And then we're going to take this. What is this stupid thing? Not is valid. Is. Oh, for the love of Pete. Isn't there a way to check and see if something already exists inside of an array? I'm not crazy, right? Contains item. There we go. He was in here somewhere. There we go. Because if we pick up a second weapon, we're gonna go ahead and just simply take the ammo from it instead of adding it, because we only really want it in there once. So if we don't already have it, then we're gonna go ahead and add unique, just to double check the item that we picked up. There we go. So if we pick up more than one, and then let's see. Yeah, we'll test this like this. We'll do already have. There we go. So let's see what happens. Let's grab a weapon here, and we'll duplicate this out and grab a weapon here. Let's see what happens. Okay, nothing, and already have. Perfect. Yep. So once we already have it, we already have it. Oh, cool. No, so we're good there. I shouldn't have to do any validation here, because the only way we're going to pick something up is... Oh, for the love of Pete. What? What? Oh, do I need to pass along an actor? No, because we want the weapon. So, we already know this is a weapon, and we're going to cast to BP weapon. Oh, but then we lose the individual weapon type. Shit. Do we care about the individual weapon type? We shouldn't care about the individual weapon type if we are simply using interfaces and keeping everything abstracted. Okay, so let's try this. And of course, there we go. Okay. Oh, but see, it's not going to happen. I'll poop on a bridge. I say, because technically these are two different object types. I mean, two different weapons. Even though they are the same type. I'm trying to make it where we don't have a bunch of ifs. I could compare the classes, because technically the classes will be unique. I could compare IDs, if we assigned IDs to everything. Do we really want to do an effing loop? See, and I'm also trying to make this as generic as possible, rather than assigning fixed slots, you know, like Doom has your pistol in 1, shotgun in 2, your machine gun, etc., etc., etc. Schlump, still getting actor reference not compatible with building blueprint reference. What is your building blueprint? What did you create the base class? If you go into your building blueprint, what does it say its parent class is? Did you make it a pawn or something? Something that's not an actor? I don't know what your building blueprint is the problem. I mean, I literally don't know what your building blueprint reference is. Is that what's here? Oh, you can't see because I don't have it on the other screen. What is your hit set up? Show me the line trace that you have set up. I guess would be the right way of doing this. I'm going back my code here. Let's see. This is meant to be simple. It's meant to be a fixed set of weapons. We're not going to have an inventory you can change from. Let's treat this like we're hard coding the weapon slots. That's what we're going to do. We're going to hard code the weapon slots. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Okay. So since we're going to hard code the weapon slots, then each weapon is going to have a slot it's going to go into. So each weapon, the base weapon, is going to need a new value. The value is going to be the weapon slot. And this will simply be the slot that the weapon goes into. So we're going to put our pistol as we'll do our pistol as 1. So actually I need to subclass this again, don't I? Yeah. So let's go ahead and create a child projectile, and this one's projectile pistol. I don't have a pistol already. Quit telling me that. Okay. There we go. And our pistol, and our class default for the pistol will be weapon slot 1. And it's going to do a damage of 1, weapon slot 1. And I really need to refix that. So this will be the setup. This will be a setup. And then who owns us will be internal for the category. Like that. There we go. Okay. So now we know who owns us. We can go back to our character. Yep, and this is fine. We have a weapon. We know it's a weapon, and it's going to go in our weapons inventory. And the nice thing, since this is an array, we'll just already check to see if something exists in that slot. So we'll make this this will be super simple here. So weapons, and we'll get the item that we're picked here, and we'll get the slot of the weapon. And we're going to weapon slot, and we'll do index. No, not invalid. Contains, right? Yeah, but contains item. Okay, well, I guess we do this. We'll do a get with this as the index, and then we'll check and see if it's valid. There we go. There's our is valid check. I guess if I have to do it. There we go. So if we already have something in this slot, then we're going to do... well, we don't need that. I guess we turn this into it like that. And we don't need to add unique. We're going to take the weapons. We're going to add. How do I put it into the friggin'... Oh, crap. Yeah, how do I put it into a specific spot? Insert, right? Oh, set array element. There we go. I knew it was one of those stupidly named ones. And this will be the weapon slot for the weapon, and the item will be the weapon itself. We will not size. Oh, do we want to size to fit? I guess technically that would work. It would keep our inventory from being too big. It should still work. Okay, so gun. Already have. Okay, good. So that should work. Silly code, but that'll work. So what we want to do is we're going to have on the weapon interface, we're going to have another one called handle being picked up. And it's going to have an input called already have. So we know we only have to handle loading the ammo into the character rather than loading the entire thing. So here we go. So then this turns into, and we're gonna see. Let's see. We already have the weapon, so we're gonna take our weapon again. This is gonna be fun to clean up. Handle being picked up like this, and then that sucks. That sucks. I can't just do that like I want. Oh, you're gonna be a butthead to me, aren't you? I know there's a better way of doing this, but I don't really care right now. Let's get this working. Let's see. Let's see what Schlump has. Let's copy, and then we'll paste a fourth picture. Let's see what we got. Line trace for objects, out hit, breaking hit, get class, set hit actor. Okay. The only question. Okay, so that's gets the hit actor. And then we take the hit actor, we get out actors. We're going to get all actors of class. Yeah, see, so my okay, yeah, I'm honestly really confused on the issue you're having. Because if I was to, for example, here's my line trace, here's my get class, and I promote to variable. So this is exactly what you're doing in the last one as far as I can tell. You'll notice here's some of the questions. What type is this variable? Mine is variable actor. That could be where your issue comes from. Yeah, don't do this. I have a feeling that's where your problem's gonna be. This is getting whatever class this actor is, and then returning. It's gonna return back a specific class, but you're setting it to type actor right here when you're doing the set actor. Just store your hit actor itself if you don't already do it. Just store the actor you hit, and then when you in your code where you're getting the when you're doing the get all actors of class, take that hit actor and then convert it at runtime. The problem is you're creating the stored variable at design time and you're forcing it back to an actor, I have a feeling. So save your actor, and then when you do your get all actors of class in your mouse wheel up, do your get stored actor, stored hit actor here, get the class of the stored hit actor, then get all the actors of class, and then do your output for getting. So you're gonna kind of run into a small problem here. I'm curious here. Here, let's. I'm already storing. No, I'm not. Here, I'm curious about something. Here, let's mount this into variable. Where'd it go? There we go. I'm gonna put this in here right here while I'm testing something. See if we can figure out why your code's not working. So we have the hit actor, and then we can unhook this for now, so I'm not worried about that. We'll do G key, which is what you have basically, and then get all actors of class. And then if I was going to do something like this, and then you get like the first one, and then you have a set. It looks like rotation. See, the problem is I don't know what are you? I think your setter is wrong is the problem. I think you have your you have something like a set rotation. I don't know what you have. Is rotation a variable? Huh. You have after this part, you have your mouse wheel up, you have your get actor, you have your get right here. What do you have connected to this? Because it's just like a setter on a local variable, it looks like. It looks like it's a setter on a local variable. If it's in the blueprint, then you're not casting it to the right. So it's a local variable, right? Inside the blueprint. I have a feeling that's where you're going to run into an issue with. Yeah, you might not be able to do this without using some form of generic interface. Because the problem is this is an actor, or this is whatever you have specifically. Okay, I guess. Okay, I can see the problem. I'm just trying to explain it and show it. if I have my weapon in here, for example, here's my blueprint for my weapon. And my weapon has two variables, damage value and weapon slot. I have to be talking to the weapon blueprint to access these two variables. I can't be talking to the actor parent or any other thing above it. I have to be talking specifically to the weapon type or any of its children to know that these values exist. In your case, a rotation and a change direction value, a variable or value, whatever. Because this code here is returning back like a generic actor instead of a specific reference, not the, what did you have? You had building blueprint. It doesn't understand what those two variables are. So my main question here is why, if you're trying to access all the actors of a certain class, which is your building blueprint reference, why you're not just doing it right here? Type in your, your BP. In my case, I could do weapon, for example. That way your output is a weapon, and that way, for example, I have, let's see, see, I can't, because see, I didn't do that one. I have to now I can get my weapon, and then damage value right here. See, like that. You need to basically make sure that this output here is going to be the correct one for your setter. I couldn't just, for example, do a getter. Let's see, I need, yeah, let's reset here. None. And my output is actor. Now I'm going to get. Let's recompile the code. See, now we're going to run into errors. And I'm not going to be able to plug this in properly to here. Because my output here is an actor, and this is expecting the weapon reference. So my two inputs are different. And then this thing is going to have no effing clue what a weapon is, because it's expecting an actor. Because if I do, that is indeed working, but one with that one specific blueprint BP. If I spawn another of the same type, I'm dealing with blueprint BP1. Well, that's fine. Okay, so you're trying to access the specific variables in the item you're hitting. Is that basically the goal here? Because there's no reason to do, like, any of this. That's why I'm confused here. Are you trying to, on mouse wheel up, change the rotation and direction of the specific actor that you hit? I guess that probably would have been a lot simpler to ask. Okay, then there's no reason to have this node. This is a ridiculously not needed node. This is saying, hey, get me all the actors of this class. You already have, when you are doing this right here, your hit actor, and then storing your hit actor itself, you have exactly what you want to talk to already in the hit actor right here. So take that hit actor, and then just on your mouse wheel up, you already have it. You just simply take your hit actor and tell it to do, whatever. Tell it to set the rotation and set the whatever whenever you do the mouse up. I mean, it's just as simple as that. You have that exact specific instance of that exact specific item when you hit it. Just store the hit actor. You don't need the class. You don't need any of that stuff. And hello, Axel. Hopefully that's easily to understand. So you take your hit actor, and then your hit actor, assuming... Now that's... there are two things you're going to run into here. Because what you're hitting is a actor, and not your specific BP building reference, you're going to need to cast to your building reference. In my case, I'd cast my weapon. And then as my weapon, I can set my damage value. You'd set your rotation. That's assuming that you are hitting, of course, your thingy. your oh my god, your building reference. I keep moving my mouse away from it. Your building BP reference. Yeah, you might run into errors. I mean, there are ways of getting around this. For example, you could always do this You could always do the remember how we were taking our hit actor here and setting it to this? Yeah. This is like, there's like 10 different ways of doing this. But when we do, when we do this right here, we're telling it to set what we hit as a hit actor. We can always change this to, for example, I should be able to change this to a weapon. There we go, like that. And now it'll save out as an actual type. Whoops. Yeah, we'd have to convert, basically, which is what the casting does. Yeah, you're gonna have to cast, or you can use a blueprint interface, then you don't have to worry about it. Oh, what was I doing? Oh, I'm over here somewhere. Okay. So in theory, if we have a weapon already, we're going to set to already have. If we don't, we're going to set to that. This is a BP weapon reference. This is a BP weapon. Yeah. So these should be. There we go. And then we're going to tell our weapon to handle being picked up. So should we have each individual weapon handle itself, or should it be generic inside the parent? Well, melee weapons won't have ammo, so I'm going to do it in each subclass. I'm going to do it inside of here, is what I'm going to do. So we're going to do handle being picked up. And then we need to, our projectile weapons will have ammo. So we're going to make a new variable called ammo count. There we go. And if we, this is pretty simple. Okay, cool. So if we already have, so we're going to do an if here. We are going to then take our ammo count and give it to the player. So what we need is another array inside of our player. Where'd our player go? Here's our player. So we have weapons, and then we're going to make a variable called ammo. This will be a simple integer. And it's going to basically reference. So weapon 1 and ammo slot 1. So that'll be easy enough. So we're going to basically give the player ammo. So if we go in here, we can go into our character. We'll go to our character interface. And we're going to give ammo, receive ammo, increase ammo, change. We'll do change ammo because we could technically use the same function to decrease or increase ammo when they are firing. So it helps to have things as compact as possible. So we'll have a variable called change ammo on the player. Because if we're reloading, we're going to pull 6 ammo from the player and put it on the weapon. If it's a 6-shooter, for example. So our... Okay, I think the same song is played over and over. There we go. So in this one, we are going to get the... so this is where we need to get the owner. So technically, we need to register... Okay, so... What we're going to do is find our character. Where's our handle being picked up? Here we go. This is a blueprint interface, right? Come on, open the blueprint interface. It's not going to work. In weapon. Let's see, blueprint. Wait, right? Target. Oh. No, look at that. I hard-coded that, didn't I? Don't think I made that an interface. Wait. See what happens? I'm lost again. Yeah, handle being picked up. why does this not have my little message icon? Here we go. See, I was doing it wrong. Always got to pay attention. If you're using interfaces, make sure they have the little interface icon on them. But this is... yeah, that's the right one. Yeah, okay. Because we want to tell our weapon that they need to handle being picked up. And we are going to pass along who picked them up. This is going to be an actor. And it's going to be... oh, not actor. Who picked us up? This is going to be an actor. There we go. So go back to here. Recompile. What do you do? Seriously? Please not be a giant pain in my butt. Yeah, okay, so... good, okay. Glad that works, Slump. I've managed to confuse myself yet again. Oh, because I need to save the parent. There we go, yep. Because the parent is actually who inherited the interface. Okay. So if we've already picked this up, first of all, when we pick something up, we're going to store a reference to who picked us up. So this is the, we called it the owner, right? Who owns us. So we actually already have this. So we set who owns us. There we go. So now we know who owns us based on who picked us up. Then we are going to, if we already have ammo, what we're going to do is we're going to talk to who owns us, which is also always handy to have this one. There we go. Let's see, internal who owns us. We're going to get them, and we're going to tell them to change ammo. Because they already have the weapon, so we're going to go ahead and just simply give them whatever our current ammo count is. And that should increase the ammo count of the weapon we currently have. Now, if they don't already have us, we are going to have to register. See, so this code here in the character, right here where we're adding it, this probably should not be in here. This should definitely be in. Crap. Trying to think about how much this code I can throw into the weapon itself. Because technically I want the weapon to register with the player. The weapon should put itself in the player's inventory, quote unquote. The weapon should give the player ammo if it's already equipped. The player should just basically go, what do I do? Which means this code technically could be even passed right over to the weapon. Okay, so let's delete all of our code here, and delete all of our code here, and delete all of our code there. And we are going to delete our code there. And since it's a weapon, we don't even need to do that. But basically, if it's a weapon, we're going to handle being picked up. Like that. And we don't even need, who picked this up, get self. Yep. And we don't even, now we can change this one again. We don't need to worry about if they already have it. We need to fix all of our signatures. There we go. Okay, so it's really simple. Basically, when we run over a weapon, if we are, all we're going to do is make sure it's a weapon, and then tell the weapon, hey, you're being picked up. Now the weapon is going to have handle being picked up handled in the subclass, because Melee weapons are not going to give ammo to... Yeah, this way we can have... Okay, so this is a projectile weapon. It's going to handle it in the projectile. We are going to set who owns us, so we're good there. Now we need to see... Yep. And change ammo can clamp. So basically we'll have it give it the ammo no matter what, and then we'll have the change ammo inside the character. It should have technically been here somewhere, right? Change ammo. We'll have it clamp, so this one's pretty simple. We'll have to change ammo, and we'll have to change it which weapon is going to change it on. So we'll find our change ammo code. BP weapon base class could handle being added to inventory. That's something that should be universal. Well, the thing is, I'm not making an inventory technically. These are just weapon slots. Not familiar with... Hello, Yoda. Overriding functions of child classes. Basically, you just... If it's in the child class, it overrides it. That's basically how it works. And then you can have the child call the parent. Change ammo, and then this is weapon. This is an integer as well. We'll go with that. And these should probably be switched. So the weapons first, then how much you change is second. There we go. And this will be our weapon number. Like that. There we go. Yep, you can call super. If it has something, it'll have an option to call super. See right here, add call to parent function. You do it like that. Assuming it's a child and the parent function, you know, has it or implements it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is change the ammo. Because no matter what, we're going to change the ammo. Whether we're full, whether we're picking up an existing weapon or a secondary weapon, we'll go ahead and just change the ammo. Because at the worst, nothing's going to happen. And we're going to automatically destroy any weapon after we pick it up. So every weapon is basically one shot. I want this to be more of an intelligent thing. I want you to not pick up weapons willy-nilly and have them leave there. They're basically going to recharge your weapon, and that's it. So, strategic thinking. You're not going to go running around over weapons that are on the ground if you're full ammo, because you're basically wasting all that ammo. That's going to lead into the assault game mode, just to give it a little more ability for the developer, the designer, to strategize it. So after we change ammo, we're going to need to register with the UI, but for now, that'll be later. Right now, we just simply need to get our weapon working. God, this thing is going to go a lot longer than I thought. So I don't really have a UI for ammo, so let's make a new UI. Actually, do I need to make a new UI element? No, probably just my existing HUD, right? Let's see. This one, I'll rename this one. This is our stamina. What do we want to do with ammo? Do you want the ammo linked to the weapon? So we're gonna have like ammo count player, ammo count weapon is what I'm thinking. What would be the best way? Because keep in mind this is going to be a long series, so I want to try to not have to go back and do stuff later. Why don't you label your streams with titles of what you've worked on? If we're talking about the live streams, I don't label the titles with that. I just do the date. The description should have what I worked on for the day. I go back and I edit it. And since I work on a lot of different things, sometimes I try not to edit. I don't want long titles. But if you're having trouble finding things and the description's not working, I can think about going back and doing that. If it would be a help, if the descriptions aren't working for searching. Let's move our score. Let's lock this. Let's lock our score in the top left this time. Let's leave our bottom for the more important things. So we're gonna move our score to the top left, and let's see. X is gonna be 0. Y is gonna be 0. Wait, right? Oh no. Really? 25. There we go. So we'll move our score to the top left. We'll keep our stamina counter in the bottom right. We're going to move our weapon count to the bottom left, and we're going to move our weapon bar here. So let's make a simple... Oh, we're just going to do what? Horizontal box? Horizontal box, yeah. So we'll take a horizontal box and we'll drop this in the bottom left. And it's going to be over 0, down 1. And it's going to be 25, 25, oops, over 25, negative 25. There we go. And this one's simply going to be, let's see, where's our text? We'll just put a text in it. And we'll make this one 200 by 60. We'll make the text. I want the text to always be fit to the left. We'll make it 32 for the size. And we'll do 0, 0, 0, 0. Let's do 0, 0. Like that. Yeah, we'll just go with that for now. That should be on the bottom. There we go. Yeah, we'll do size to fit. I'll worry about making this look better later. We'll do that for our ammo. So this one's going to be our ammo text box. And that says ammo TV, not text box. So that's where we're going to update our ammo. There we go. And then we're going to have a new event in our HUD blueprint interface. And this one will be set ammo count. It's going to take a new... Let's do 2. Let's make this as open as possible. Current and max. I see my chat blowing up, so I'll have to check that in a second. Compile this, and we'll set ammo count. And this will be our ammo text box. Get, oops, yeah, that's right. Set text. And then we're going to, I can't do that. We should do append. Seriously? Thank you. That, like that, like that. Let's do a little space in there. And we'll do it like this. That's ugly, but we're not going to clean it up till we get things working in place. Let's see. How to put images... Okay, Cloudus. How to put images into exact center of screen. If you're using a canvas panel as your parent, you just put the item in, anchor it to the middle, like this, anchor middle. Don't not have a position, X or Y, and then make sure your alignment is set in the middle, 0.5 and 0.5. That means this item will be set into the center, providing those values are correct. Position X, position Y is 0, alignment is 0.5, 0.5, and anchor is in the middle. That'll be in the center. That's assuming you're having a canvas panel. If you're using something like a, what's the other panels? Something like an overlay or horizontal box or vertical box, those have different layouts. You would put the child that's inside of it to vertical and horizontal center, and that'll center it inside that box, assuming that box is the correct size. The flower doesn't help at all. I'm assuming we're talking about the anchor. I mean, I don't really know what to say on that one. You have a canvas panel, and the canvas panel gives you exact positioning using the anchoring system. So anything you put in, if you anchor it to the middle like this, it'll be in the middle. The key, though, is your alignment on your object needs to be 0.5 and 0.5, because that means the center of the object, of this object I'm lining up, is going to be anchored to the center. Now keep in mind you still have an offset here with your position. So your position needs to be 0 as well. That will put the center of the object into the center of the screen, anchored in the middle. That's assuming you're using a canvas panel as the parent. That's how you center stuff, and that should say center at all times. You can see it's set to 50% on all angles. I did see your question, Yoda. I'm trying to finish up with Plautus first. Are you creating your image at runtime or design time? And it's not going to move your image if you change your anchor after you drop it. That is perfectly fine. Like, for example, if I put my image here, these values are set based on the default anchor. If I change the anchor after I've already put it into a position, it's going to change these positions based on the anchor. You have to change your positions back to 0 so that way the anchor has no offset. So anchor it to the middle and change your positions to 0, and that'll give you the correct center for the anchor. Now your anchor needs to be offset for the alignment. This is how far in. 0, 0 top left, 1, 1 bottom right, 0.5, 0.5 middle. So now you change the alignment to 0.5 and 0.5, and that item is now going to be perfectly centered and anchored into the middle. You have to make sure all of those things are correct. Middle anchor, no position offset, alignment middle, middle. Once you're done with that, then everything else is perfectly fine. But make sure those values are correct, because even if I resize this, you'll notice it's going to try to help me by changing my positions and my sizes. You got to change those positions back to 0. No, the anchor will not move the image. I've already said that. Look, anchor left, image stays the same. Anchor right, image stays the same. Anchor middle, image stays the same. My position is being updated every single time I change the anchor. If you have to change the anchor after you change, you have to change your positions after you change the anchor. Yeah, you have to anchor it to the middle. Then you have to set your positions to 0. Or else it's going to be offset from the middle based on whatever you told it to offset. This does not move the item. Technically, I should rephrase that. If you were to do something like this, see how it's actually moving it? If you were to read the instructions and it says hold control to update the image, the position to match, then that would be fine. This will automatically move the item if you hold the control key when you click your anchor. But for the most part, people are just going to move the anchor without moving the image. Like that. Everything has to be relative. This is an offset from your anchor. That's very important. If I drop the image into here, if I just drop an image right here, it's anchored here and it's offset this much. The anchors say, hey, anchor yourself to here. Don't move yourself, so offset yourself this much. Because you might want, for example, for example, let's say I wanted this item over here, and this is going to be on the right-hand side. If you notice, I put it over here. But now I'm like, okay, I want the anchor to be to the right. If it moved the image when I change the anchor to the right, it's going to offset everything. Yeah, they don't they're not going to assume that you want the image moved to the anchor. Because, like, for example, I might want this image like this, anchored to the right. Or anchored to the bottom left now. But I want my image to still be in this position. Let's see. Hello, Alex. So, let's see. Yoda had a question. Let's see if I can find that. In your HUD, I have a hide text. When I press the button, I can visible the text via the blueprint. But I can't hide this text again with the second blueprint. The second button. Okay, what are you using to hide it and unhide it? It should be pretty simple. You have your ability, your button, when you click it, has the ability to change your text visibility, which I'm assuming is what you're trying to do. And I'm not in my HUD anymore. Yeah, are you changing the visibility? Let's see. Can visible the text via the blueprint. Yeah, variable. But I can't hide the text again with the second button. Yeah, I'd have to see how your stuff is set up, Yoda, but it shouldn't be too difficult. It's... You have, I guess I could do this technically now. I have a button and a button. We'll call this one button 1. Oh, we'll call this one button show. And we'll call this one button hide. And let's see, button show when I click it, and button hide when I click it. You know, and then we have our score text box right here. Set the visibility to show like that, and then if we did something like this to hidden, I mean that should do what we're expecting, assuming I have mouse input turned on, which I don't. Controller show mouse cursor. Yeah, oh, seriously, you're gonna be a pain in my butt, aren't you? I think I have it set to, yeah, I have it set to game mode override, which of course is gonna work for this. But your code should work basically like that, Yoda, I'm assuming, which should work perfectly fine. Hello, James. If this is basically not what you have, Yoda, I don't know what you would have, but setting the visibility to visible and setting visibility to hidden should give you the result you're looking for. If you have it set to like the hit test, then yeah, it's not going to change the visibility. So that may be an issue that you have, but yeah, that should work. The anchor. Okay, but okay, back to what everyone has said. If that's what you want, oops, that would mean be deleting the entire thing. If that is what you want, Plautus, you can get exactly what you want. Go ahead and put your image in however you want it. Hold down the control key when you click your anchor, like it says here, to update the position. If you hold down the control key when you update the position of the anchor, you'll go ahead and you'll get your item to move. So that will give you the desired result you want. If you want to use an anchor and move it to there, then use the anchor and move it. But keep in mind, an anchor is not a way to position things. An anchor is a way to keep things in a certain position. There is a difference. Like everyone's been mentioning, if you anchor something to the bottom right, it's intended to, for example, I have stamina in the bottom right. If I was to resize my screen, you'll notice stamina always stays in the bottom right. I could have a very tall, very long. The anchor is intended to keep something in the correct position. So like, for example, anchoring my cursor to the middle ensures that it's always going to be in the middle vertically and horizontally. That's what the anchor is for. No, the anchor doesn't only help you see where it's the center. The anchor is literally an anchor. In this case, this anchor tells it to keep this item 100% to the right and 100% down. This anchor up here tells it to keep it 0% to the left and 0% up. You know, this anchor down here tells it to keep it 100% down and 0% to the left. It tells the item where to stay. That's what the anchors are for. So an anchor in the middle, like for example, if we had an anchor in the middle, it'll tell it to stay 50% left, 50% right, 50% up, and 50% down. That's what the anchors are for. It tells it where to stay. Not where to necessarily position itself, but where to stay. Not even to size itself. You need scale boxes and size boxes for that. Why would the item move without anchor? If you don't have... Well, by default, everything has an anchor. You got to keep that in mind. If it's on a canvas panel, it's anchored somewhere. By default, it's the top left, as you can see here. And if, like, for example, if I wanted something... If I had... Here's an image. Let's say I wanted this image to be on the bottom. This is my hotbar right here. And I hit play. And I was to go ahead and resize. It's gone. My image is gone. I've told to anchor to the top left. I'm told to anchor a certain distance from the top left. These values right here. Now that I've resized my screen, it's gone. It's anchored off the screen now because it's not set to stay to the bottom. If I change the anchor to the bottom now, and I tell it to play, now when I resize, that image stays on the bottom. Because I've told it to make sure it stays anchored at the bottom no matter what I do to my screen. That's what the anchors are for. When your screen, it's mainly for when your screen size changes, because you have to keep in mind, someone may have a 4K screen and someone may have an old 4x3 1024 by 768 screen. Or you're playing it on mobile and you have a horizontal and a portrait rotation. The anchors are intended to keep things in the proper position. Blah, 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 blah. Let's see. So I have my update score. So I was working on my update ammo. So let's see if we can have our ammo working. So here's our event change ammo. So we're going to get our ammo. And we're going to get whatever weapon. And we are going to take that value and we're going to add the value that comes in, and then we are going to set array element. The array element will be this weapon, and it will be this new value. We'll make sure we size to fit. And then we're going to, who owns our HUD? That's a good question. Who owns our HUD? Who's going to own the ammo? It's our player. Doesn't our player own the HUD? Yeah, our player owns the HUD. Oh, did I never set a reference to it? I never set a reference to our HUD. Probably because the rest of the HUD is separate. Stamina should... Yeah, see, so I'm creating my HUD in the wrong spot right now. I bet you I'm creating that. I'm creating my HUD inside the controller, aren't I? Yep, look at that. Well, poopity. Because the ammo is linked to the... Yeah, see, we can't have this, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to pull the HUD out of the controller and put the HUD into the player as well. Oh, this is going to be a giant pain in the butt. Lots of crappy coding. That's basically what I just put in here. Okay, so what does our HUD widget consist of? Ammo, linked to the player. See, the score is linked to the controller. So I need to take this and make their own HUD. Okay, so that's where the issue comes from. I actually need to make this is the HUD, the controller. and then I need to make a new HUD for the player. There we go. Let's put it for the controller. Put that up the thing. Let's see. So we want that one and this one. There we go. And of course, you can see the issue here because things aren't in the correct spots. Stamina should be anchored to the right, but I need to set this to negative 0.5. 0.5. There we go. And the ammo box is 25 and 25. No, that's 25. So it should be. Yep. Stop it. Too many tabs. 25. There we go. And then we need to grab set ammo count and set stamina. So, man, I've got too much crap I screwed up here. These actually need to come out of the controller and they go into the player. Like that. There we go. And then, what do we have left in here? We have the score and the controller. Okay. So we have the players. Let's see. So these need to be interfaces. So we need a HUD controller blueprint interface. And then we need a new interface. This will be the HUD player blueprint interface. Okay, and we're gonna have, what do we have? Set stamina. Yes, so we'll have set. Okay, that was the wrong key. Come on, set stamina display. The new input value, and then we'll have a set ammo display with two inputs, which is going to be our min and our max, not min, max, current and max, like that. There we go. So we have that. Our HUD player needs to implement the, let's see, this is a player and a controller. Where's our controller? Where is our controller? There we go. This one doesn't need that one anymore, or that one anymore. And our graph should be empty, and then we have this implement. Yep, okay, cool. So we're good there. We still don't have our interface for our player back. We should just have stamina. Yep, good there. So now our player needs to take control over the interface, its own interface. So we'll find our character. We'll find our character again. Yep, so our crosshair, we need to move our crosshair into our player interface. Or should I keep it separate? Let's keep it separate because I can make the weapons have their own individual crosshairs. So for now, we'll keep that one separate. I like that. I like that idea. That makes it better. For now, we'll move to weapon. That way each weapon can have its own crosshair. And then we'll do HUD player, store a reference, and then add to, oops. And then add, oops. Too many oopses today. This is going to be our player HUD reference. There we go. Now we should have our player HUD back. There we go. So we've got everything separated properly. Cool. Cool. Okay, good. So now we have our player HUD properly. And we need to put our events in here. So this was update, oops, compile, update, stamina display. Yeah, that's not right. What was it? Set stamina. There we go. This will be event set ammo display. This will be our current and our... Seriously, how does this get stuck? Current and max. There we go. Okay, back to what chest opened this. Looks like lots of random loot stuff. Random into range. By Schlump. So you display 2 HUD widgets at once. Technically, I'm going to be displaying 3 HUD widgets. At least 3 HUD widgets. I plan on having a controller HUD widget, a player HUD widget, and a weapon HUD widget. That's the current idea. That way everything's interchangeable. Because you lose the player, then we don't care about what the player had. We don't care about their stamina or weapon when the player dies. We just care about our score and maybe a timer by the game mode. And if the weapon's destroyed or you change weapons, then we don't care about the crosshair for the weapon, and it'll give us the ability to change the crosshair unique to each weapon. Okay, yep. So, I am pretty sure I have some code broken at this point from the stamina. Yep, I definitely have some code broken from the stamina, so we need to fix that since we moved it out of the controller and we moved it into its own. So we need to figure out, that should be in the character. We just need to figure out where it's at. There we go. Update stamina display. And the nice thing is, technically this is all one, oh, for fuck's sake. This is a macro that I created to handle this, so I should be able to just change this one macro and then everything will be perfectly fine. So that's what's nice about this. So I should be able to get our player HUD reference, and we're going to set stamina display like that. And I don't need to do this as a text anymore. I can just do a straight to value like that. And it's fixed. Simple as that. There we go. And it fixed all the other instances of it. Now that it's done. So we managed to move that over and fix it. And we don't need output. Okay. So that takes care of that one. And our HUD display is good. So we have all of those basics moving. We still don't have our weapons going in properly, but that's what I'm working on. Though I'm super confused on why I can fire. Oh, probably because I never even got rid of this. So now we're going to delete this code and no longer let our player fire. And this is simply going to, we're going to have to keep a reference to our currently equipped weapon. So let's see, current weapon. Yeah, we'll just go with current weapon. This will be an integer. And we're going to grab that, and we're going to grab our weapons, and we're going to get whatever weapon we have currently equipped, and we're going to tell the weapon to handle action button 1. So we'll pass our firing to our weapon, just like that. Now in this case, well, it defaults to 0. We're going to make this code work properly. So nothing should happen. Yep, there we go. Nothing should happen. Can't fire. Can't pick up anything. Good. We have errors. That's good. Yep, because we have nothing equipped. So technically, what we'd want to do here is run our nice happy valid node and only fire off if we actually have a valid weapon. So fire a bunch more times. Quit out, no more errors. Perfect, so we're good there. Now we should only attempt to fire if we have a valid weapon. Valid. No, I like when there's errors, because if there's errors, that means something's happening. Then we look at the error, and then we determine what's happening, and then we fix the error. If we don't get errors, then we don't know for sure if anything's happening. So at this point, Uh, we were technically working on ammo counting. So, oh yeah, so we have this, that's right. So once we do this, once we set it into our array, we need to get our player HUD reference, and we'll set the ammo display. And we're going to set our ammo display to this. Now this is all wrong. This is not the proper way for me to do this right now. Because technically this should update the appropriate spot, not the current weapons information. But we're not adding new weapons yet, so that's not an issue. Right now we just want to update the HUD with the current weapon. So we're going to get the current weapon, and we're going to update with the current weapons count. So get the ammo for the current weapon. Since we only have one weapon, in theory, this should at least update properly. I don't really know what's going to happen, but yeah, see, nothing happened. That's kind of cool. But we don't even know if we're picking up the weapon yet, so. Actually, let's see if this is called, shall we? Yep, okay, so it's getting called, so we're good there. So let's stop it here. Let's see what our values are coming in. Let's see. We have item 0, item 0. Okay, so because we don't have a proper pistol with ammo would be my guess. So we need to... Oops. Stop it. Okay, stop it. There we go. So we don't have any ammo we're actually giving. So we're going to set our default ammo count to 6. Unfortunately, this is also set as weapon 0, which is not what I want. So we need to fix that. Which is inherited, setup. This is the weapon slot. So we need to expose this weapon slot. Okay. So technically, oh, this one, sorry. Okay. I did the projectile weapon. Yep, okay. Let's get rid of this one and get rid of this one. Weapon, we want our pistols in the scene, not our projectile. Now we have the actual pistols in the scene. That makes a lot more sense. Now we need to make it where the... yeah, here we go. This is what I was looking for. I need to change. This needs to be under setup. Okay, so that's where we screwed up there. Things were confusing me. Should be set up. There we go. So now our pistol has ammo count of 6. Its damage value is 1, and its weapon slot is 1. So now let's see what happens. All right. Index of 1, item, oh yeah, index 1, so weapon 1, value is 6. We're going to set it to 6. And let's step, and then we're going to set our display. We're going to tell it to not work properly, apparently, because our current weapon is 0. So that makes sense on terms of that one. So we have it adding properly. So the weapon's working properly. This isn't working simply because of the fact that we haven't assigned a weapon to our player. So if we change this to weapon 1, in theory, we might have ammo working. If I tell it not to pause. There we go, 1 of 6. Which still isn't right, but it's progress. Oh, because I'm a dum-dum, basically. So... what we need to do here is, this is getting the ammo for the current weapon. The current value means we need to get the weapon. We need to get the weapon at slot current weapon. And then we need to get the ammo value from the weapon. Which, BP weapon. BP weapon, BP weapon. Ammo is not in weapon. What's the appropriate way to handle this? The reason we can't get an ammo count is because if we have a melee weapon, technically it doesn't have an ammo count. Ammo is exclusive to our projectile weapons. So I could, for example, do something like cast a projectile. And let's see if this works. It seems like it would be the smarter way of handling this. And if it's a projectile weapon, then it's going to set the ammo display like that. And then as the projectile weapon, we should get the ammo count. Whoops. And spell ammo like that. So, oh, come on, blueprints. Can we please move today? Thank you. So, let's see. Well, obviously that didn't work. So, it's gonna be here where it failed. I wish it would go into the blueprint. There we go. We're going to get the weapon. Current weapon is 0. Current weapon is that. We're going to get that, and it gives us back nothing. Because we've never actually added this weapon to the player's inventory. We've never added it to the inventory because our code is simply backwards at this point still. So where is our weapon? There we go. It's a projectile code, right? Here we go. So we know we cannot call this immediately. This is not going to work. We haven't given the player the weapon yet, therefore we can't change their ammo. So let's make sure we give the player a weapon. So what we are going to do is we're going to get who owns us, which is, that's an internal, right? Yep. And we're going to, do you want to make something on there called give weapon? Yeah, we'll call it give weapon. That will give the character a weapon. That way you could technically have this where it doesn't even need to be picked up. It could be something like a special quest or objective. So we'll have the character have, because we're giving to the character, not the controller. And we'll have the character have something special called give weapon. So let's open our interface for the character. And we're going to give him. Now, do we want to be able to remove the weapon as well? So, do we want to handle it in one function, give weapon and remove weapon? Or do we want to, that was two functions, two events. So do we want to give and remove, or do we just want to change? No, because change weapon technically should apply to changing the weapon that they currently have. Let's just go with 2, because why not? We'll just do 2. We'll do give weapon. And it's going to simply take in an input of the value. I should call it weapon number. I'll call this one integer. This will be the weapon number we'll give to them. So that's easy enough. Go back to our character and compile. New event. Give weapon. And see. Take weapon. Receive weapon. Receive weapon would be a better name because give weapon sounds odd. So we'll just call this receive weapon, and then we'll have remove weapon. So we'll go with that. So we'll go with receive weapon, and all we have to do with this one is we'll get, and we'll add unique. Actually, don't need to do that. We set array element. We grab weapons. We're setting index 1. And this doesn't even need to be a friggin' we're going to give ourselves is what we're going to do. So where is, there we go, who owns us? We're going to receive weapon, and we're going to pass a BP weapon, which will be itself. So let's see, weapon. This will be a weapon. Like that. Boom. I'll go back here, and we're going to self. We're going to give ourselves to the character person, and the weapon number is our weapon slot. Voila, like that. Okay, after they've received the weapon, then we can change the ammo. Now this might work. Let's see. Nope. That was a good try. Let's see if we can figure out what we broke here. Because I'm not actually doing that. Let's try that again. Nope. Okay, I'm getting somewhere. Oh, stupid thing. Okay, so let's see. Here's our weapon array. We're passing in index 1, and we're passing in our pistol. So that's exactly where we should be. So the next thing we need to check, we need to stop it here. Stop this here. Resume. It should pause on here. Let's see. Index 1, item 6. Let's step. Our array has index 1. It has 6 ammo. We are going to take our weapons and get current value 1, and we get nothing. Why is our weapons empty? Oh, because I bet you this is why. Let's see. So we actually want to go here, here, resume. There we go. Now that we actually have something in there. Hey, look at that. We got 6 ammo. Alright. Granted, I should be destroying the weapons, but we have current and maximum ammo working. There we go. That's a cheesy way. And then now, in theory, if I fixed firing next. Right. Okay. Oh. Let's see. It might be desirable to have weapon resources be stored at player as an array of classes, implementing, adding, removing interfaces, which weapons would interact with. Basically having ammo types. Technically, I do have ammo types, in theory, but yes, I see what you're saying. Technically, unfortunately, the ammo types are specific to the weapon. That way, different weapons can use the same resource. Yeah. No, that's, no, that is something I had thought about. But this is intended to be a beginner to intermediate type tutorial series, picking up on the basic one, and the intention of this is just to show doing more. We're going to just simply implement some weapons and implement a few game modes and make it as expandable as possible, but nothing too deep. Adding in different ammo types, basically 5 different ammo types. You have buckets for 5 different ammo types. The nice thing is that shouldn't be too difficult to change out, because if we were to, right now we have ammo, and the ammo is simply linked to the weapon. If we simply changed each weapon, where in our base weapon, for example, to have a ammo type, and we simply pulled the ammo type from the slot rather than the we use the ammo type to determine which slot to pull from, rather than the weapon slot to determine which to pull from. It's a really quick change over to do it like that. Then you basically have your buckets for your ammo, and then each weapon has certain ammo they can use, and it pulls from the correct slot in the array. But by setting it up like this, it does give us the ability to do that later if we want to. Right now, I'm just trying to get a basic weapon class system working as simply as possible, so that way it's easy enough to show. But I need to experiment and go through all the different ways of doing it crappily before I can do it properly. And we have an issue where the weapons aren't we can't fire, so let's fix firing. So our problem is we cannot fire, so it should be passed along. Let's make sure it's working first. Let's go to our projectile. Let's go to here, and let's make sure it's actually working. I'm pretty sure it's not working because of the fact that... oh, there we go. Okay, so that's not working. Okay, obviously we broke something here, because I could get ammo from here. And... it does... whoa, that's weird. Huh. Okay. Is my left one is not properly... it's both pistols, right? For whatever reason, my left one is not allowing me to fire while my right one is. So I would consider that a bug. Oh, damn it, seriously. Okay. So weapons 1, current weapon 1, get correct. Input object valid is valid, correct. Oh. Huh. No, that should be fine. What type of games do I like? I like a lot of different games. I am primarily a role-playing game person, though. I've played most games, though. Borderlands is fun. GTA I own, and it is fun. Yeah, no, it's not necessarily... Where is it at? Yeah, this is definitely not a message call, but I'm more concerned about something else right now. I just realized. You are correct on that one, though. Yeah, that's why you gotta pay attention to these stupid envelopes. But I'm more concerned about something else I just realized. Let's see if it fixes that first issue. Yeah, so that fixes the first issue because we were not using the message. But the problem is now, because I'm technically storing the individual objects in the player. Crap. This will run into a problem when I run into two different things. I have the individual objects stored with the player, but if I was to ever save or reload, I'd have to rebuild the object. Probably isn't too much of an issue. Give it to the player. Probably isn't too much of an issue. But I need to make sure I keep this item with the player at all times, basically. It would have to be somewhere. And it's not too much of an issue to physically exist somewhere and then just move it to the player as needed, I guess. It's just going to cause issues with persistence like across maps. So storing things as a weapon, not somewhere, like not physically somewhere, is going to cause an issue. Because, I mean, I could make a data table. The data table could hold all the information for the weapons, like weapon 1, which blueprint it's going to use, which values it's going to use, and then you can pull and create and do everything from there. I'm trying to think ahead right now without trying to prevent refactoring in the future. I wish this saving system was as robust as Unity's, where you basically serialized and deserialized objects, so you could easily keep objects across sessions. But Epic's really doesn't allow you to do that, unless you write specific code to do that, which I don't really want to do. So let's try fixing this first, and then we'll go back to that. So the biggest issue I'm having here for my line trace is I don't have a point of origin. I don't have a point of origin because I'm now firing from the weapon itself rather than firing from the player itself. So we need to know where our firing origin point is. Now who owns us, we could get an origin point, or we could use the camera. So it just depends on which way would be smarter. Because before we were basically firing from our camera. We used our camera as an origin point. If we were to expand this into the enemy, for example, the enemy may not have a camera, because you technically don't need a camera. We would still want a firing origin point. So I think what I'm going to do is make something called an origin point. which is just going to be a simple scene component, and it should be easy enough to get, even if it's a enemy or a player, so that way this code will work from anything. So we're going to call this one the firing. We're going to turn off caps lock, origin point. And the nice thing about this is we're just going to put it where the camera's at. So technically for this one, the firing origin point is going to be I know there's a word here, where the camera is, so it should be pretty simple. Oh, it's gonna be a component, isn't it? So who owns us is an actor, right? Yeah. So we need to register that in here. Yeah, if you want to make a zombie in your game, you can make him a pawn or an actor. Pretty much, yeah. If you're looking at the types of blueprints, it goes down from the least amount of extra stuff going down. The main difference between pawn and character is character has the character movement stuff and is meant to be controlled directly, whereas the pawn is not really meant to be controlled directly, so it's great for things like zombies and enemies and things like that. That's your primary difference between the two of them. They both work perfectly fine with nav meshes and things like that. Yeah, no, but you were right. No, you're good on that one, Harry. Pawn is perfectly fine for AI. Character is if you really want control over it. And actor is if no one's really going to do anything with it. So an actor would be an apple, a zombie would be a pawn, and my player is a character. That's an easier way of thinking about it. The issue you run into is, what do you make a tank or a plane? And it comes down to, do you want to use the character movement component or not? If you do, make it a character. If you don't, is it going to use the nav mesh? If it's not, then make it an actor. James, will that line up properly if, say, the player has animation, i.e. should it not fire from the weapon itself? Should what not fire from the weapon itself? Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, yeah, you know what? You are 100% correct. Oh, crap. No. I completely forgot. No, you're right. I intended on doing that. You are correct, James. Thank you for mentioning it. That's why I'm hoping people will pipe in. A pawn for tank and plane. I don't know. If you're not going to use the AI for a tank and a plane like the nav mesh is, then you don't need the pawn overhead. If you're going to control it through setting of location or homing missiles and things like that, then the pawn can work. You bring up a good point with the weapon. Well, no, I use the gun barrel as an origin point. It's kind of a you've got a catch-22 on this one. You both bring up good points. If you have if the weapon's going to be fixed, then I can use the barrel as the origin point. If I intend on using the center of the camera, then the firing point should be used on the camera itself. No, I think that's the reason why I wasn't going to put it on the end of the gun. Mainly because I intend on having the physical appearance of the gun is mainly meant for show. It's not really meant for aiming. So we're gonna keep it on the player. We're gonna keep the firing point on the player and see how that works, which will be the center point. So the issue I'm going to have here is the fact that who owns us technically can't tell me. So I need to do it in I need my begin play. So this is what I meant originally. Yeah, the event begin play, and then we're going to get who owns us, and then we're going to ask who owns us for the firing point. This is one of those registration things. There we go. get firing point. And it's going to give us back a firing point, which should be a scene component, which technically, yep, we're going to want to go with the scene component like that. That's what we're going to want. There we go. And then we're going to assign, let's see, internally, we are going to want to get the firing point. It's going to be a scene component. That. Oh, for the feet. There we go. Like that. Which this is going to be an issue because you definitely don't want to run this on begin play. Yep, that was kind of silly. We definitely want to run this on weapon picked up because that was just extremely silly. There we go. So now if we get the firing point, now we should be able to fix that. Nothing should happen. We should go pick up ammo and handle action button 1 fired. So we know that works. Okay. So we're definitely doing something here. Let's do some double checkage here. And this is where the math comes in and my brain just goes, I don't know what I'm doing. Yep, so that failed miserably. Let's see. Well, okay, for this one, James, the line trace is simply intended to give us the start and end destination. It doesn't necessarily mean where the effect is going to occur. I plan on having the weapon show, but keep in mind, just because you see a muzzle flash or a plasma ball or something coming from the gun, that doesn't mean that's where the line trace started at. The line trace is a representation of what we're trying to hit, which is going to be center in front of us. Yeah, that's all completely separate. That's animation. Yeah. My biggest issue here is I'm definitely not doing this right. So let's oh, did I never set up this? Yeah, I guess it would help if I set up the event inside of our character for getting the firing point. Oh, lordy. No, I don't want to call it. It's on the character. I'm not crazy here. Or did I? No? Oh, because stupid function, because it returns something. That's right. Okay. Okay, let's try this again, shall we? There we go. Nothing should be here. We're going to skip. No, I want this one. Here we go. Okay, cool. Let's try this then. All right, we got a line trace working now. Firing point. Let's see, start and end. Okay, let's see if we actually hooked up the code properly. All right, we fixed the code. I got other things not working, but that's completely different. So we can't fire. We can pick up a weapon and get ammo. Pick up a weapon, get ammo. We can fire. We have our firing working again. Still don't have lots of stuff fixed, but now we have the firing working completely inside the character. Yeah, so we can have projectiles fire from the actual barrel, but the nice thing is we have an endpoint of where we're going to, and that's also that is one of the differences here, and one of the keys here. Right now, we're just working on creating a weapon class so we can expand upon, and we're doing a line trace weapon. If we're going to do a projectile weapon where we have something firing off that's not a line trace, like a grenade launcher or plasma or something, then yeah, we're going to use a the origin point of the barrel and things like that. Yeah. And then we're just going to basically take the item, fire off an impulse, and then boom, have it go. But a lot of the stuff, yeah, you got to keep in mind, a lot of the programming stuff, it's all fake. It's all fake. It's all just for looks. It doesn't mean it's, you know, if you see something happening, it's definitely not what's happening behind the scene. Okay, so we broke our score at some point. So how did we do that? Oh, so many things. Let's see. Where's my notepad? Lots of crappy coding. Lots more crappy coding. Fix the score. Not working. Yep. Weapon animation is basically an illusion. Completely decoupled from the logic. 100% on that one. It is just simply magic. Is what half of 95% of games are. Okay, event handle. Okay, so so I know where the problem is here. I should rephrase that. I think I know where the problem is here. Where's our line trace in my weapon? I have a feeling that this, yep, right here. This is not being properly passed along. The handle was hit. So we're going to talk to our blueprint. We're going to do handle was hit. This is who hit us. Handle update score. We're going to have the control. Let's see. We wanted to make this as generic as possible is what we wanted to do. So I have a feeling this is where we're having an issue. Let's get a weapon, fire, and that did, oh crap, I have stupid, which blueprint is this? Oh, negative, there we go. Target is going to be our character, okay, and the target value is 100, so... Event graph, so update score, where did I put update score at? Because the update score is in the controller and not in the player. That is where my problem. So this is a good reason to be using interfaces, because of the fact that interfaces won't cause a crash when things fail. The character I'm talking to doesn't implement this code. So we are good there. So what I need to do, can you take it? Can you get the controller of... If you have a character, can you get the controller for the character? I know you can get the pawn that the controller has access to. I guess technically a AI would not have a controller. So in this case, we wouldn't care about an AI score probably, because they're not going to have a HUD. So we're only going to want to cast this if our player... Yeah, okay. Yep, so this is easy enough right here. Totally easy. We're going to move this into the character, and then the character is going to tell its controller it has received new score. Yep. So let's find our character, and we're going to update. Let's see. We're going to receive score update. Receive score. Receive score value. We're going to go with receive score value, which is right here, which is going to be a integer. Value. There we go. Okay, and then this one we actually don't want that to be anymore, so we're going to do receive score value on the character. Oops, that is down here. Where did my character go? Compile. Score value. message. There we go. Now we're going to tell our character that they received a score value. Now, this should be the only one, right? Let's see. Find references. Oh, wait. Actually, do we have another one? No, it should be the only one, right? And this is if it's dead. So old me apparently implemented two different functions for some reason. Obviously, we receive a score. Okay, and then the score value. But why are we receiving a score value? Okay, so this is one of those bugs I was working around where you end up getting extra points more times you did damage, is what it was. Yeah, that's what happened. Basically, this was the bonus value is what it was once you actually killed the item. Yep. That's what it was. Okay. So where's my controller interface? Yeah, we had handle update score. Okay, so that's what that one was. That was a really weird bug. Receive score by interface call. Not an interface call. Let's try this again. Receive score message. There we go. So character should be receiving 2 score updates, the regular and the bonus value. Okay, yeah, so we're good there because that's a bonus value on, yeah, the bonus value is on the kill. I implemented the stupid bonus value halfway through doing the thing, and it's been like 6 months. Old me does not remember what old me did, like at all. I should really fire old me for what he did because he didn't comment any of this code apparently, which was a bad old me. Okay. Receive score value. There we go. Now I can get my controller. Let's see, get self, and then. Oh well, crap. How do you get the controller of yourself? This was the same stupid question I literally just asked. Because what I want to do is handle update the score, so the controller updates the score and give it the new value. But the problem is. Oh, return. There we go. Get controller. Okay. So that you can do that. I thought it was in there. It just named it silly. Get controller. I mean, how hard is that one? Yeah, see, the problem is I intended on commenting this code between the final video release and the uploading, but then I stopped and I didn't do it. So old me is now suffering. Well, new me is suffering because of old me. There we go. We got our scores working again. Perfect. So now we are passing scores along. So fix the score not working by passing it through the character. So now the score is technically decoupled. And the score will pass into whoever shot it. And then whoever shot it will pass it into its controller. And they're all using interfaces. So now at any point, if any of them fail, because like if we're using an AI implementation, there's no real issue. You don't have a controller, no problem. You don't have an interface, no problem. We don't care. So the score's fixed. Stamina's fixed. I think I'm going to finish up with the ammo here. And then I'm going to call it done for this one. Because I've gone way past where I planned. I have a feeling people are trying to get me to play Paragon right now. Yes. Yep. What is the difference between message pass and interface call? Where did my character go? There we go. So, Message pass. Message pass. Let's see. Receive score. Oh, come on. Receive score. Do we mean like this one? Like an interface call like this? And then a message call like that? I think that's probably what we mean. Let's see. Receive score. Yeah, I think it was on. What was it? It was in the web. It was in the target, right? It was. Yeah, where it was. No, because those are messages. That's honestly a good question. This is green. Oh, the target is on. You know what? I think. How? I don't think you could ever call this. Because the well, because this is your calling the message on an an actual target. This is calling a message on the interface itself. How the? I don't think you could actually get an interface, could you? Yeah, yeah. I don't think. Yeah, but I don't think you'd ever. I don't think you'd ever use that one, would you? Let's see. Oops. Technically, you'd have like you'd have to do it like this, right? But what the hell would you use that for? I mean, this is going to be... Yeah, you have no value in there. I don't know what you'd use that one for. I've never used that one. I'm very curious, though. If you have any ideas, let me know. I've only ever used basically the, your interface calls. Not your interface call, your messages. Yeah, but I could see it's in here, and I could see how you would use it, but how would you use it? Because you have to be able to assign this to an actual interface. Can you get an interface? This returns actors. This returns widgets. I don't think you have a way at runtime to even get an interface. And you can't assign this interface a value. I mean, it's obviously really confused on what I'm trying to do. That is a very interesting question. I think it's going through a message queue. I don't know for sure. I just use it. I have not looked into the code on this stuff. There's so much stuff on how they make blueprints work that I just really don't want to look through. It works, and that's what I leave it at. I have enough trouble going through the code as it is. C++ is not my favorite thing in the world. Okay, so let's design a function inside the weapon. So all of the weapons are going to have a you know what? We already have picked up, right? We have our handle button, and we have handle being picked up from BPI weapon. So if we go into our weapon and we do handle being picked up, and we have, whoops, that is not the event we want to implement. Handle being picked up. If we have no event created, in theory, if we do this, and we were to decouple this, the weapons should destroy themselves when we pick them up. Assuming I actually had collision, which I don't, because whenever you convert a stupid blue BSP, it doesn't come in with collision because it hates me. Oh, I have a box. That should better. Okay, now I'm confused. Yeah, well, do you have to call super? You have to, right? I don't want to call super. Do I? I have to call super, don't I? See, I don't remember. That's actually what I'm testing right now. I'm testing to see whether or not I have to call it. I don't usually bubble up at all. I usually just implement my main functions and events in the parent that I need, and then don't implement them at all in the parent if I need to override them in the children. But I want to try something different this time. I want it to destroy itself if it doesn't get called in the child. But I think you might be right in the fact that it's not going to work. Because this is going to, yeah, see, yeah, it's not going to work. And I know it's not going to work because, okay, I don't need collision on this actually. So let's undo the collision. There we go. Yeah, I know why. The specific reason it shouldn't work is because this code right here is being called. No, see, this code is being called on the weapon itself. Yeah. Well, let's do this because this is what I intended on doing. Basically, after everything was said and done, I wanted the parent to. I want to call the parents function, and the parent's it's basically gonna clean itself up after it's picked up, like that. See, that's exactly what I intended to happen. Which technically I can't do. I can't do a destroy. This is where yeah. See, that's the thing. Yeah, that's exactly my thought right there. Technically, the parent class is the one implementing the interface, and technically, I've already cast to the parent when I am calling as the target, but I'm technically calling on the object itself. So I guess it makes sense. I'm not calling it on like the chain or I'm not actually even calling on the parent. I'm calling on the object I created since generic interface. Yeah, since I'm using, you know what? If I called an event without using the interface, I bet you it would work. If it was just simply calling it directly, but since I'm calling it through the interface, and I'm calling it on something directly using the interface, that's why. No, I bet you it's because I'm using the interface. But regardless, this doesn't solve my issue because of the fact that I only want to destroy things if... Oh, I only want to destroy things if I already have something equipped. So let's use the parent to handle that. I think that would be a fun, stupid way of doing things because we can. So who picked this up needs to be passed through. And I think this is a really stupid way of doing this, but I don't care. So the weapon is going to handle giving itself. The individual weapon is the individual weapons will have control over what happens when you pick it up. Because maybe I want some spawning of special effects and things like that. But once it's done, it's going to call the parent, and then the parent is basically going to either... See, this is where the issue comes from. Well, the problem here is I can't destroy this actor because I'm technically adding that actor to the character inside their inventory as a reference and then calling all the code on that. Because I'm calling it on something inside. Yeah, see, this is... Because this code in here is being called... It's technically this code that I care about. Is being called on an instance of an actor rather than just called on the class itself as like a function on the class. if I destroy this actor, I can no longer call this code. Because I'm trying to keep everything as self-contained as possible. And this is technically only an issue right now because I'm not taking this weapon and attaching it to the player and then having it, you know, be invisible or be in their hand or whatever. So, screw that. Let's play with attachment. Because why not? So we're going to get who picked us up, because that's going to get passed through. And we're going to get, let's see, who picked us up as an actor. I need to know what weapons the actor has. UE4 interfaces. Let's see, get weapons. So we're going to, let's see, actually that needs to return. Let's see, we need to return weapons. This is current weapons. This is going to be a well, that's the whole point, Harry. That's why I'm actually doing all of this literally with my thought process on stream, taking opinions and questions, trying to figure out the stupid things that don't work, and then trying to figure out an efficient and effective way of doing it. Let's say you were playing something like Borderlands, where each weapon itself contains its own set of stats, because it's generally randomized. It's like Diablo, where it's randomized loot. You kind of want the item you picked up, you want at least its stats passed around or saved somewhere. You need all of those unique stats saved, because they're unique to that actual weapon. They're not unique to like the class or anything like that. So that was my original thought process. We pick up the weapon, and then the weapon itself becomes part of the character, which technically I can do here. Because if you do it like this, then maybe you have a slot for pistols, and then you're allowed to drop your current pistol with a new pistol. I'm trying to keep it semi-expandable, semi-robust, but not too complicated. I'm trying to get it down to the bare basics. Right now, because I'm doing everything through the weapon, we want to keep the weapon, because that's the way I'm doing it now. For all I know, I'm going to do this 5 or 6 different times, trying different methods till one works. But right now, I want to see this through, where the weapon itself is, you know, the weapon. You pick up a weapon, the weapon becomes part of the player, the weapon fires, the weapon handles everything special for the weapon itself. So we're going to want to keep it. So this would, for example, be a... Yeah, whether or not this is the smart thing to do, this is what we're doing. And I want to say I need to pass this by reference, because I want to edit the weapons that the player itself has, because I'm going to either give it to them... no, because we've already given it to the player. You know, we've already given that. Oh, so all we're doing is attach. Oh, no, we need to check and see. So we don't need to pass by reference then. Yeah. Some abstract data-only representation. Yeah, that would probably be the smarter thing to do this. Goodbye, Alex. I'm glad you stopped by and hung out. Hopefully I didn't cause too much craziness. Yeah, an abstract data-only representation of the weapon is probably the best way of doing it. You can use a data table. You can link things together so you have unique IDs, unique stats, unique meshes, and things like that. That would probably be the more proper way of doing this in the long term. But this is the short term, and this is an idea. This is the idea phase. This is technically meant to represent... the basic thought process of this is, hey, I figured out how to make a first-person shooter, and my dad thinks this is really cool. and he wants to see what else I can do with it. So now I'm gonna try to do something really cool. I'm gonna add some weapons, and I'm going to make some enemies you can kill, and I'm going to add some more weapons, and I want to make some game modes, and I'm going to show all my friends and my dad this really cool game I made. So you might not do it right the first time. You might not do it the right way. You're just going to try things that, you know, your thought process comes along. So I'm going to try to do it kind of that way, where, hey, this is stuff, a way to do it, whether it's right or wrong. This is something that you may encounter, and this is a way of doing it. And then you can see the pros and the cons for the wrong way and the right way of doing things like this, and then improve upon it over time. Like, for example, putting the full interface in the controller ended up being not the right way, and we're going to move it over partially to the character. And hey, Headclot. So this is technically a thought process in progress that someone may run through. Okay, so who picked this up? Get wet for the get weapons. Okay, and I did that wrong because this is supposed to be on the output. Okay, I need to close down the things I'm not using. There we go. Because we want the current weapons that the player has. But keep in mind, this could be the player or the enemy, so I want to make sure I use an interface because we're not going to cast specifically. So we're going to get the weapons, and then we are going to... see, damn it. Putting this on the main weapon causes an issue. Ah, crap. I need to know if they currently have a weapon equipped by getting an item at a certain slot and validating it, whether or not it's actually there. And checking to see if... yeah, see, I really can't put this inside of... Shit, this is going to be the same exact code, so I want it in the parent. Just so I don't have to duplicate the code for every single different type of weapon. Because this is basically, all this is going to do is say, hey, inventory, this weapon that I'm talking about right now, is it the weapon that you're currently using? If it is, then we're not going to destroy it. We're going to attach it, and it's going to become part of the player. If it is, then we're going to go and destroy it because we don't have to worry about it. It's a duplicate. It's an unnated item. But in order to do that, I need to pass along the object itself. And I need to, because I'm in the parent, so I don't think I can get... oh no, I should be able to... if I get a reference to self, this should still give me the actual item itself, not necessarily this. Okay, so that should be fine for getting myself. So we need to somehow get the item number. So I'm going to have to pass in the item number. Oh, actually, no, wait. Can't we... I mean, will this technically give me the... will this give me the weapon slot of the item I've created, even though I'm in the parent? That is not anything I've ever thought about. Okay, what did I break? I broke the character. Where's my character? I don't really try to intermingle parent and child, so stuff like this tends to be something I have done before. Okay, what is broken? Oh, I don't have that filled out. I guess that would do it. Okay. So that didn't get called by the parent. Why did that not get called by the parent? Our parent weapon got called right here, right? Huh. Oh, it's pistol 2 I'm under. Okay, there we go. I forgot it's an individual instance. Okay, So we're going to disconnect, resume, resume. I can't break it on the stupid valid node. Crap. I'm gonna break it on here though. Okay. But this isn't hooked up, so that's not gonna friggin' work either. Oh, debugging, I love you so much. I just realized I had the mic mute, so that didn't help. Yep, sorry about that. I had a kid come in. I didn't realize it was. Yeah, sorry about that. I was talking. No, it should be back. I'm sorry about that, guys. I usually end streaming by 2 because that's when the kids come home. But I hate leaving a project half implemented, so I'm kind of in a limbo right now. But it's almost done. But why did this not work? We're going to get the current weapon, get the weapon in the current slot, compare it to ourselves. If it's the same, we're attached. If not, we destroy actor. Well, if my brain is working properly, it should not be always true. And it shouldn't always be true. Unless I screwed up the code inside the character, which is, I'm not in the character, inside the weapon, which is definitely possible. This code right here. Yeah. I have a feeling, yeah, that was, yeah, where's my character? Yeah. I have a feeling I order of operation things really stupidly. Receive, yeah, okay. So I'm automatically giving the character the weapon every single time. So should the character not add the new weapon if something already exists? Okay, so here's a little bit of a thought process then. So right now what's happening is when the weapon gets picked up, it's going to go ahead and tell the person who picked us up that they should add that weapon. Then it's going to change the ammo, and then it's going to go ahead and assign its values, its firing point and such. This should be part of the parent, I'm thinking. Receiving the weapon. Updating the ammo should be part of... Yep, so you know what? Should we call the parent first? Okay, this should probably always be set no matter what. See, we're kind of at a conundrum. I want to add the ammo all the time, and then the character will basically, you know, if it's too much ammo, won't do anything with it. The problem is if we don't already have that weapon, then technically... I think we fixed that, right? Yeah, we should be able to call change ammo no matter what, right? Right? We should be able to call change ammo instantly no matter what. No, because inside the change ammo, we are basically checking to see if we... hold on a second. I think there's a bug with the change ammo. Oh, I love bug fixing. So change ammo. Yeah, because change ammo basically checks to see if it's a projectile weapon and then updates the display. So this is, again, a really stupid, you know, this is one of those cases where we can fix it properly, actually make sure we have a weapon, and only if we have a weapon do we want to go ahead and update it. So that should fix the problem with simply casting. So now we can still give it ammo, but not update the display. So that's perfectly fine there. That should fix that issue. Then we can change ammo as the first thing we do, because we're going to change ammo no matter what. Then we can have the parent, yep, because receive weapon, this should be inside of the parent, because you're always going to call it receive weapon. That stuff should actually be inside the parent. The only thing that's unique to the projectile is the changing of the ammo, and the firing point. So these are the things that are unique. So we'll move this one over here. We'll set the firing point, because that's unique. So those are the unique things. This is the non-unique stuff in the parent. There we go. We should be able to pull receive weapon out of there, put it inside the parent. And if we already have this weapon, which is this one, then we, oh wait, this is, okay, so these things I think I need to reorganize. Let's see. We haven't given them the weapon, so we're going to pick up the weapon. This will be the receive weapon code, which should go in the false right here. No. I guess check and see if the slot's empty first. I guess that would probably be the smarter thing. Figure out what weapons we have. There we go. And then, because where's our receive weapon code in the character? This one, yeah, because we don't want to receive a weapon if, yeah, so we need to put it inside the weapon. Okay, so this is, yep, we're good, we're good. So we're going to go ahead and get and do a valid check. That's what we're going to do. We're going to get the weapon slot. We're going to see if we have anything inside the weapon slot. So if we have nothing inside the weapon slot, it is not valid. We're going to go and give them the weapon that we have. And then we are going to attach it because we just gave it to them. And that should be done there. If, yeah, Yeah, that should be it, basically. The first time through, we're giving them the weapon. Every other time through, they already have a weapon in the slot. So then we're just going to destroy the new weapon. Because they already have something in that slot. That should be it, assuming I actually code this part right. So we're attaching... Oh, we should be able to get who picked us up, right? Who owns us? Since we've technically assigned this earlier in our code. Yep. So we're going to do attach us to who owns us. There we go. Okay, let's try that. Pick up the gun. I don't know what happened to it. Pick up the other gun. I don't know what happened to it. Okay, so that in theory should have worked, but I think it didn't. Yeah. Yep. I think we're getting somewhere though. I hate not being able to stop on the stupid valid nodes. Oh. I don't know. Oh, actually, you know what? That bring up a good. That it's really easy to tell. It'll actually attach itself. No, if it was attached properly, it would actually be attached to my character. I'm pretty sure. I'm deleting the item. I'm pretty sure the code here is running for the first item. Okay, so let's make sure this gun's the first item. Yeah, see that code's running. Let's see. So we have weapon 1, weapon slot 1. We're going to get this, and it is valid. See what? So it's firing. Oh, you know what? I wonder if this thing's this event is firing twice. Where's the event I was just literally looking at? I lost it. This one, right? I wonder if this event is being fired twice. There's once, there's twice, there's 3 times. It's being called 3 times. That's what's happening. It's calling it the first time and attaching it properly, and then it's going through again, it's seeing it's attached, and then it's deleting it. So we have our handle being picked up event being called 3 times, which is lovely. And this is being called from the weapon. Wait, it's inside the weapon. It's not being called from the weapon. Let's see. Projectile. So is this code being called 3 times? The child. Let's find out. 1, 2, 3 times. Yeah, okay. So our child's event is being called 3 times. And that should be called from the character. This one, right? Handle being picked up. So what we want to do is print string hello. Let's see if it actually is being called 3 times. Twice. So we have the code being called twice. Yeah. I know what's causing this issue. It's a pain in the butt to figure out. Say, yeah, it's being called twice. So that's where our issue comes in. If we were to do this, yeah, the pistol's being called twice. I think it's the 2 different parts of my character. No, just the... Huh. Is there more than one, this is my box. My weapon is It's not calling it. No, it's not calling it twice because it's child, right? That would make no sense, right? I'm not crazy here. Because this says a capsule component is. Let's check what's. Yeah, the collision cylinder is hitting the box on pistol. Yep. Which is exactly what it should be, and it's a weapon. Why? Yeah, I've got multiple collisions. Ah, I hate stuff like this. Well, in theory, but yeah, because each one should only fire once. But why? Yep, it is causing an overlap twice. No, I know what it is, and I can't. Oh, I've had this issue before. And I want to say it's because I have. I want to say. Let's see. I want to say. But let's see. Let's see if we can. No, that wasn't it. I want to say it's because something has multiple things assigned to it. You know what? You may be correct. You may. Oh, darn it. You may certainly be correct there. Yeah, let's do this. Yep, you're correct. You are right. That's because I normally. Yep. I ran. You know what? No, it's not stupid. I ran into this exact same issue when I was doing the house building thing. Like I said, I know what it was. I just couldn't remember what it was. Which is a stupid way of saying that, but and that's fine because it should not have collision enabled anyways. Like that. Yeah. So that's perfectly fine. And this time, if we were to pick it up, we should see, yep, see the floating gun. We pick up the other one, yep. So that's works perfectly fine now. Yep. No, it makes sense. It's one of those things where not only that, but it's because I've half finished this. If I would have now attempted to position the gun properly on the player, so that way the gun looked like it was right, I would find it would be colliding with the player and causing issues. And then that's when I'd remember that I'd have to remove collision, because you don't want the gun colliding with anything, it's just for looks. Yeah, no, that's I would have figured it out at some point, but it's been one of those, yeah. So we don't want collision, and then we need to, once it's attached, so the question here is, let's attach this, let's find our gun, let's reset its position, like this, and eject, and possess. So let's find our gun, and let's see, yeah, so we're going to go with something like that for our gun. 130 is what we're going to go with. See? Okay, so that's what we're going to go with, 130. So we're going to want to then have our character, and we're going to give him a C component, and we're going to call this the weapon attach point. And this one was 130. Should be the correct spot for it. We'll see if that works properly. So when we do this, we are going to get no, here's what we're going to do. We're not going to handle it in here. Once we've given it to the player, we're going to have it as part of the receive. Weapon is where it should be. So inside of here, we have our receive weapon code. We add it into the array, and then we are going to set collision enabled. And this will be on our attached actor. It's going to be this weapon. So we're going to where's it at? Weapons, and then we're going to get weapon right here. We're going to disable its collision, and then we are going to attach actor to component. Let's see, attach actor to component. I know you're here, you stupid thing. Attach. They renamed these stupid things. Attach to component. There we go. And the component will be our weapon attach point, like that. And that was it, right? Maybe that's it. Let's see. Okay. Oh yeah. Now the problem we have here is our values. That's the other thing when you attach. After you attach, you then have to take that item and you need to set its position. Relative transform. Let's see. Actor relative transform, and you need to reset those back to 0. Oh, we don't have to transform. Set actor relative location. You set those to 0 because it inherits the world location before you did anything. There we go. There's our weapon. Bam. Let's start game. We have no weapons. We can't fire. We can pick up either one of them. Give us. There we go. We still have an issue with ammo, but I can deal with that. Cool. No, I've that's other stuff you would do. Basically, as long as you have the, if we have the weapon set properly inside of our blueprint, like for in this case, I make sure I rotated it. It would be along the X, so the X is forward on the root. So that way the gun will face forward no matter where our player is at. It's just a matter of getting that location to the right spot, because it's going to take the world location and then attach to the actor and try to keep the same world rotation. Then it's all relatively screwed up. Just got to remember that when I do attaching, you've got collision and locate. This crap to deal with, basically. But that's fine. So now we have an issue, one more issue, then I can finish this up, where when we receive the weapon for the first time, we're not properly updating the ammo display. And that should be pretty simple, because basically we're only ever going to receive the thing once. So if we update the ammo, which I think is called set ammo, and I think it's spelled set ammo, and that's going to be on the this one. I need to get rid of that, actually. Yeah, that's going to cause confusion because we're no longer setting the stamina on the controller, and then the controller UI interface. We are no longer controlling the ammo count or the stamina display from the controller interface. There we go. So now we set ammo. There we go. On the player HUD, we get our player HUD, this temporary variable, and then we set it to, I already did this in multiple points, don't I? Change ammo right here. So that means what we need to do is we need to move this code into a macro with an input of the weapon number is what we need to do. So we'll collapse this to a macro, and this is going to be, what are we going to call this macro? We're going to call this one update ammo display. It's going to take in a weapon number, and this will always be our current weapon. Actually, no, it doesn't. No, it's always going to be our current weapon. So actually, I don't even need that. That was silly. Yeah, it's always going to be our current weapon. So then that one's update ammo display, which means then we just go over here. We tell it to update the ammo display. And after we pick up our weapon the first time, it should have the correct ammo display. I lost my character. Oh, okay. Apparently we broke something in our controller. What did we break? Where is that? In the controller itself. Oh, I think I screwed up. I think I accidentally deleted the wrong interface. Oh, no, I updated the wrong interface. Which is fine, right? Yeah, the controller doesn't update the stamina. So, yeah, okay. There we go, 6 of 6, 6 of 12. I don't actually have the weapon ammo counting down, but it updates the interface properly. You can play the game properly now. There we go. So we managed to basically move over everything that is already done. But we got the basics of that stuff working. That was just extremely stupid. I'm not worried about ammo count, ammo reloading, because I mean technically the nice thing is if we screw it, I'm gonna do at least ammo countdown. Which is part of the weapon, because that way if your weapon has multiple shots, it'll handle it. Which is one of those things I plan on adding way down the line. Wow, look at that. It went down to this tiny thing. So inside the weapon, we're only going to have charges inside of our projectile. And our projectile will basically remove ammo based on ammo count. So every time we fire, which is our action button 1, whether we hit something or not, we need to update our ammo count. So let's update our ammo count even if we don't do a line trace. Let's say we're just going to do it no matter what. So I have a new function. I'll call this one use ammo. Yeah, we'll call it use ammo. There we go. This way we can just make this super clean. There we go. And we'll just simply call use ammo. Now use ammo is going to take our ammo cost. Now our ammo cost is going to be variable depending on the ammo, the firing method. So right now we'll just subtract 1. So we will take our current ammo count and we'll subtract 1 from our current ammo count. And we'll set ammo count to the new variable, and that's just super simple, right? Like that. And then we had a change ammo right here. So we can just go into here and tell our owner to change the ammo for our weapon, and in theory this will work. There we go. Now granted, some of these numbers are not working properly. That's actually kind of should probably fix that. So let's see. 5 of 11. I don't think 5 of 11 is right. Hello, Headclot. I have never used Paper 2D. Ever. So, unfortunately, I cannot say that I have. But I gotta admit, that's a pretty funky bug there. Oh. Because all I'm doing is changing the physical ammo. I don't think I'm actually subtracting it from the character is the problem. I think I put that in more of a... No, I have to be doing that, right? Oh! Oh, because this is how much I am changing the ammo, is what it is. This is not the new value, I am changing the ammo. So what we need to do is we need to take this value here. So let's just make a local variable for now, called ammo per shot. Because this is going to actually change out based on the... something else, and then we'll multiply that by -1 to flip it. There we go. Okay, so let's try this. There we go. And in theory, there we go. So that's working exactly like I expected. The problem is I don't obviously take into account if I'm out of ammo or even care about it, because that's completely separate. But this code should be working properly now. But that's not the way that other games normally handle it. You have what's in your clip, and then you have what's in the ammo bag. So I'm handling this improperly. I need my character, and we have the change ammo. Yep, I'm handling this improperly. Can you make a request for Paper 2D tutorial? You can make the request. I just have no friggin' clue on how to do it, unfortunately. But feel free to make the request. I haven't really felt that the Paper 2D has been stable enough to use is my biggest issue. So we have two issues here. When I do the change ammo, that's basically changing the ammo in the backpack of the player. It should not be changing the ammo in the weapon. So my macro for updating, this should technically be a... Can you call macros from... No, okay. So this is super simple. We are going to go to our character. Yay, I love blueprint interfaces. I will do refresh ammo display. And we'll go into our projectile. And what we need to do is we need to call refresh ammo display. And we need to provide it weapon ammo. There we go. So this is how much is in the weapon ammo. Whoops, where's this one? Here we go. Yep, this is just how much ammo is in the current equipped weapon. Okay. And then our character has a new one called, let's see, right here, and this one's refresh ammo display. And it's basically going to take the current weapon, which is technically in here, update. So we want to fix this one. Current weapon. No, look at that. Wait. This should all be in real time, right? Yeah, okay. No, I don't even need to do that. I should just be able to tell it to manually refresh without updating that. Okay. Okay. There we go. See, that's appropriate. That's what I meant to do. My biggest issue is I don't have the gun working properly, because technically you have, this should be 6 and 0. Yeah, this is one of those things where I've just named stuff so stupidly and made functions and things that are just get cleaned up over time. Yeah. Like, but this at least works properly. It properly counts down the number of bullets, the ammo in the gun as you're firing, and then it keeps the ammo on the player as a separate pool. My biggest issue is I am... where is the weapon? Right here. This one right here. I am giving the player technically ammo for the weapon, which is not inside the weapon. That's the biggest issue. Which I guess is not really that big of a deal. So it'd probably be smart to have something like this. You have the clip count, and then you have the ammo count. So the clip count is what comes inside the weapon, and the ammo count is what comes with the weapon. Of course, then I have to change everything. You know, I'm just gonna keep this like this, and I'll add that into my shit to fix another time, because I want to go play Paragon. Lots of other crap. So much crap. Oh my god, so much crap. Fix the clip and ammo count. Okay. Let's see. So I'm looking at doing a Doom-like character system, so when the player moves around the sprite character, it changes the sprite accordingly. Probably explaining it badly. Well, you could, do that. Don't, okay, two things. If you're doing it in 3D space, I know that Katatus has actually tried to do something like this. He actually did something like this for one of his projects, where he used 2D sprites on planes and then used them for his characters. But the easiest thing to do would probably replicate the same thing you try to do if you tried to have like text always facing the character. You can always have the look at and the rotate. There's the find look at rotation, and set the find look at rotation based on the sprite, that your quote-unquote sprite or your plane, the forward X on that one, facing the player. And if you use the find look at rotation, you can always just really easily have it face the player at all times. That's like super simple. They have a node in there to take care of that. Yeah, this is like super simple. Just for the start, you would put the your mesh, because keep in mind, if you design your weapon where the X is forward, then that's going to be your front facing. So you could just fill in the, you'd have your cube, you have a, what do we have, an X of like 0.1. So you have your flat little meshy dude right here looking at you. So his forward direction is always going to be that way. And you just plug him into your look at rotation, and then plug your player into the target, and that gives you the rotation to give your look at dude. Yeah. It's definitely not that difficult, especially if you use that node. Okay, so I am going to pretty much wrap up the video for today. I appreciate everyone hanging out. I spent way too long doing not enough stuff, and it halfway failed miserably. I am totally scared of how long this is going to take to get done. This was meant to be a small update, but just simply implementing a weapon system that's expandable is it could be giant, but it's all good. Not a big deal. I'm actually happy with the progress. I've got weapons in the game now with configurable stats. I can pick them up and it'll attach them, and only once they're attached can I actually fire. If they're not attached, I can't do anything. If I pick up extra ones, it simply gets rid of them and gives me more ammo. So, I mean, that's pretty decent progress, all things considered today. It's a good start towards something. Especially since probably half of today's stream was just me redoing stuff I had already done that were broken in the first place. So, yep. See, that's the bad part about this is I'm trying to take these advanced coding concepts and turn them into easier stuff. And so I'm trying not to implement too hard of stuff. I just have a bad feeling that if I just simply hard-coded multiple weapons, it wouldn't be that difficult. But if I can show some way of making a expandable system and make it easy enough to understand, that's what I'm hoping for here. So I won't know, obviously, till I get the entire stuff done, but that's what I'm hoping for. But that's going to wrap up everything. I know I've said that a couple times. It's going to wrap up everything. I'm going to make the stuff go silent for about 30 seconds once I'm done. I do appreciate everyone hanging out and giving opinions, advice, and hopefully I helped anyone who had questions. Tomorrow is Wednesday, so it'll be back to the normal streaming time around 10 o'clock. Oh, no. Tomorrow I have work till 11, actually. So it'll probably be streaming around 11:30 or 12 tomorrow. And since the kids get off early, it'll probably be an extra short one, unfortunately. But we'll wrap up the weapons, hopefully. Clean up some of this crap. Other than that, I'm on YouTube. I'm on Twitter. I'm on everywhere. Everything's got my information. Got any questions and comments, just feel free to leave them wherever you want. And let me know, and I will be more than happy to help out. And I'll see everyone tomorrow if they come by.